And a very pleasant good evening, everybody. It's time for the RVA Sports Network High School Baseball Game of the Week, and we are live at Deep Run High School as we get set to crown a champion at the 2019 Deep Run Spring Break Classic. 3 continuous days of baseball action come to a close under absolutely picture-perfect conditions tonight. Temperatures in the 60s. The sun will say goodnight over the next half hour or so. The lights will take over, and it'll either be undefeated number 1 Benedictine or the upstart Lee Davis Confederates, who will take home the championship tonight. Hi, friends. Rob with them. Happy to be with you live here on the RVA Sports Network, our first Game of the Week broadcast in the month of April. Can you believe it? April already. We've had 3 fantastic days of action here. Let's get you caught up on everything that has happened. Lee Davis got here to tonight's championship game with an 18-7 win on Monday in the very first game of this tournament, Monday morning against Caroline. And then last night, behind some great pitching and timely defense, Lee Davis knocked off number 3 St. Christopher's 2-1 in the semifinals. And now tonight they face undefeated number 1 Benedictine. They got here with the first-round victory over Monacan. And then last night, they pull away late from number 8 Deep Run and get a 7-1 conquest. And they look for their 14th consecutive win without a loss. This evening, Benedictine will be the visiting team, so they will bat first. And it'll be Jalen Stratman, the sophomore left-handed pitcher, starting tonight for Lee Davis. So used to saying freshman because of all the appearances and all the innings he ate up as a 9th grader 1 season ago for head coach Tyler Johnson. We mentioned Benedictine at 13-0. Lee Davis comes in tonight at 6-1. Their lone loss of the season at home a couple of Tuesday nights ago against Prince George. We'll set the lineups as we go along. Jamari Baylor is the leadoff hitter in the Benedictine order. He's coming up to the plate, and we are ready for baseball on a perfect Wednesday night here in the far west end of Henrico County. Glad you're with us listening tonight. Embedded players available at RVASportsNetwork.com, HanoverCountySports.net, and, of course, just tweeted out the link to our broadcast both on Hanover Sports and at the RVA Sportsnet. We will send updates on Twitter throughout the game tonight on Hanover Sports, part of the RVA Sports Network. First pitch will bounce in front of the plate, and it's 1-0 to Jamari Baylor's. We are underway here in the championship game. Beautiful turf surface here at Deep Run. One of the reasons why we were able to get all the action in on Tuesday, despite all of the wet weather. The only dirt you'll see is on the mound. The 1-0 to Baylor. At the knees for strike 1. We're even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Just underway. Miserable weather yesterday. Not only rainy, but chilly. Just kind of a raw day, and we're getting the back end of it nicely here on this Wednesday. That one's low. We'll go 2-1 to the leadoff hitter, Baylor. Brett Cook, Jay Wolfolk, who is tonight's starter for Benedictine, due up here in the top of the first for the Cadets. Stratman gets the sign. Now the 2-1. Going to miss inside and low, and now 3-1 on the speedy Baylor. Certainly don't want to give him a free pass to first to get things started tonight. For Lee Davis, it's going to be a lot like what happened yesterday against St. Chris. Hang around and give yourself an opportunity in the late innings. 3-1 pitch. Inside for ball 4. And Baylor will get the leadoff walk, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Brett Cook.
Now batting number 11, the second baseman, Brett Cook.
Jake Stanley getting the win yesterday, 3 1/3 innings for Lee Davis. Connor Sorakowski with some fantastic back-end work in relief to help Lee Davis hold on to that 2-1 win over St. Christopher's. Looks to first pitch, misses low for ball 1. Catch up on earlier today. Caroline won the 7th place game over Monacan. Matoaka defeated Midlothian for 5th place. And we wrapped up the 3rd place game about an hour ago. Going over to first and back in safely is Baylor. Deep Run built a 7-2 lead, but in the bottom of the 7th, St. Christopher's actually had top of the 7th. They actually had a chance to take the lead. Runner going, and It is going to be a hit by pitch. That one gets Cook on one of the lower parts of the leg as it tailed too far inside. And it'll be first and second, nobody out. And Wolf will come into the plate for the Cadets.
Now batting for Benedictine, number 9, the pitcher, Jay Wolfolk.
Senior catcher, leader, University of Richmond commit Zach Last takes a moment, goes out, talks to his sophomore. He may be young, but he's got lots of experience, but he's got himself in an early jam here. He'll step off. Against his pitching counterpart tonight, also class of 2021, Jay Wolfolk. And there's more than one scout in the house tonight, and they're taking a hard look at Jay. First pitch. Tried off speed, didn't work. High and away for ball one. So Deep Run holds off St. Christopher 7-5 was the final in our third place game that ended about an hour ago. The 1-0, that's a called strike. Stratman evens the count at 1-1. Cook at first. Baylor is at second. A walk and a hit by pitch is how we got here. Nobody out, top one. Going for third. Last, the throw, not in time. And it's a double steal. Lee Davis fans complaining that once he got to the bag, he actually slid past the bag. Field umpire disagrees. Double steal executed. Baylor to third, Cook to second, 2 in scoring position, and the count's 2-1 on Wolfolk. And an early hole here for Stratman and Lee Davis, top one. Jalen Redding delivers, foul, out of play. And check that, that'll make or keep the count at 1-2 strikes on Wolfolk with Bennett Lloyd, the first baseman, on deck, and the Cadets threatening a walk, a hit by pitch, a double steal. And they've got runners at 2 and 3. And now the 1-2. Over the head of Wolfolk, and Last does a great job to stand up and grab it before that was a wild pitch and likely a 1-0 lead. We're even at 2-2. Lee Davis defense looking for their first out here in the top of the first inning. That'll be a chopper toward the shortstop. Try to get the route at first. Not going to do it. Throw pulls the first baseman off the bag. And a run scores. Baylor is in to make it 1-0 Benedictine.
Now batting, the first baseman, Bennett Lloyd.
Last out to calm down the defense again. And Lloyd steps to the plate with, again, nobody out. Runners now at the corners. Can expect Wolfolk to take off. First pitch called strike one. Lloyd wears 13 for Benedictine. That's how many wins they've amassed so far this season without a defeat. And they've been number one in our RVA Sports Network top 10 baseball poll since day one this season. Jalen looks at first. The 0-1 off speed, lined into center field. That's a base hit. A run will score. That's Cook. Wolfolk will stop at second. And it's 2-0. Benedictine here in the top of the first, and still nobody out.
Now batting third baseman, number 23, Brett Allen.
So runners at first and second, nobody out, and 2 in early here in the top of the first for the Cadets. And it brings up Brett Allen as Stratman will step off the rubber. Those of you who hear that name and it rings a bell, he was part of that heralded 2015 Mechanicsville Little League team. First pitch swing and a miss for strike one. that made it all the way to the Southeast Region Final before falling. They were one game away from Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The great three-sport athlete over at Atlee, Tyler Warren, was a part of that ball club as well back 4 years ago. The 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Casey Green is tonight's designated hitter. Had a fantastic night on the hill against Deep Run last night in the semis and in the rain. And he's on deck. The 1-1 from Stratton. At the knees, 1-2 now to Allen. Two runs so far. The official scorer says 2 hits here in the top of the first. First and second, good leads on both. They're taken off. Foul back to the screen, and we'll try it again at 1-2. That grounder from Woolfolk would have been difficult for the shortstop to get it over there in time, but the throw wide. And Jay was able to get in safely, and now he is at second. Lloyd is at first. And another 1-2. No, Stratman fakes a throw back to second. And Woolfolk will retreat. Still looking for out number 1 here is Lee Davis. Another 1-2 coming. Off speed, got him looking. Strike 3 called. First out of the inning finally coming for Lee Davis. And the first strikeout for Stratman. 1 down for Casey Green.
Now batting the designated hitter, number 27, Casey Green.
Have a quick moment. We'll set the defense for you. We talked about last behind the plate. Jake Stanley's at first base tonight. After starting in the semifinal win yesterday, Carter Trice at second. Cole Jenkins is at short. First pitch, high for ball 1 to Green. Nick Talley is at third. The outfield patrolled by Troy Andrews in left, Caden Plummer in center, and Noah Smith, who had a unbelievable throw last Thursday night, we'll talk about in a few minutes, is in right field. Stratman looks back at second, steps off the rubber. Count 1-0 here with 1 out, but 2 in early. Top of the first for number 1 Benedictine. And trying to get a big inning here early on. They're going. Fakes a bunt. Lass's throw into left field. Gets behind Talley. Woolfolk on his way in. And it's 3-0 Benedictine. Woolfolk scores. Lloyd motors up to second, stays there. And the count to Green now, 1 ball, 1 strike with 1 out, but 3 in, top of the first. Stratman ready. Here's the 1-1. Bounces in front of the plate. 2-1 the count. Nice block by Lass. We mentioned Lass heading to U of R. They got a big win over Norfolk State earlier this afternoon. VCU Longwood making up their rain out from yesterday, and that's a slugfest right now. The 2-1. Foul down the first base line. That'll even it up at 2-2. They're going top 6. It's VCU 11, Longwood 6. Number 8, Randolph-Macon falls to Lynchburg on the road this afternoon. 10-5 the final. Yellow Jackets now 9-2 in the ODAC. And with a win in their next one, Roanoke can tie them for first place. The 2-2. Off speed, grounder. Stratman gets it, tries to go to third, applies the tag, not in time. Talley applied the tag from this angle. Very close call. The umpire says got the leg underneath the tag from Tally, and everybody is safe. First and third, still one out. He could have gone to first, got the easier play.
Jack Carpin.
Out of the corner of Stratman's eye, he saw the runner headed to third, thought he had a chance. Doesn't quite happen. That'll bring up Jack Carpin, the right fielder, with 3 runs in and 2 aboard. First pitch, inside corner, strike 1. Green will head to second. No throw. Count 0-1, 2 more in scoring position, and the Cadets already have 3 in here in the first. Infielders charge up. There's a strike. 0-2 now to Carpin. Kyle Hendricks, he is the center fielder, number 8 hitter in the order, and he is on deck. With 1 out here, still top of inning 1. The 0-2. Ground ball. Tally tags the runner out, tries to throw to first, and it gets away from Stanley. Got a runner at second. Trying to come all the way home is Green. The throw is late. Throw down to third. It is late. 4-0. Benedictine with 2 out and a runner at third. So the lead runner at third gets tagged out by Tally. He tries to pull the double play to end the inning, but the throwing error allows a run to score.
Now batting.
And it allows Carpin to fly from first all the way to third. So Carpin at third with 2 out for the center fielder Hendricks and a 4-0 Benedictine advantage. Called strike 1 down the pike. 0-1 now. Desperately need an out, get out of the inning here with no more further damage. Lee Davis yet to see the plate tonight. 0-1 pitch. At the knees for strike 2. So 8 batters so far, 4 runs, 3 hits, and a big Lee Davis error there a moment ago. 0-2 pitch. Missed just low, and it's 1-2. Stratman hoping to get the strike 3 call. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Hendricks. The left-hander is ready, kicks and fires inside. And we're even at 2-2. The 2-2 pitch gets away from last. Runner coming home, and he will score standing up. Carpin is in, and it is a 5-0 Benedictine start here in the top of the first inning. I know the Lee Davis team is currently having flashbacks to 2 weeks and 1 day ago at home against defending Class 5 state champion Prince George when the Royals hung 7 in the top of the first in their only loss so far this year. That pitch misses inside, and we'll have a walk to Hendricks and a runner on with 2 down. And they'll bat around in this first inning as Matt Sylvia, the left fielder, comes up.
Now batting number 14, the left fielder, Matt Sylvia.
There was a big home run as part of that 7-run first inning. You'll recall we were live on our game of the week doing the softball game there at Lee Davis when the Royals hung that 7 in the first on their way to an 11-2 win. Lee Davis's lone loss at this point of the season at 6-1. Throw to first, no problem. Going to do it again. That one had a little juice on it. Stanley drops it but keeps it in front of him. Hendricks is back safely. And still no pitch to Sylvia yet with 2 down, 1 on, and 5 in for the Cadets. That pitch is called strike 1. Sylvia with a little check swing. 0-1 the count. Only Sunshine left in the field now is in center. The 0-1. Misses low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Jamari Baylor, leadoff hitter, is on deck should the inning roll on. The 1-1. Inside corner for strike 2. Stratman ahead, 1 ball and 2 strikes. I'm not keeping a pitch count, but Jalen's got to be probably at 30 plus at this point. One, 2, high. 2-2. Next pitch misses the corner and will go full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Five runs, 3 hits, 1 error in this top of the first. Stratman ready. Here comes the payoff pitch. Runner goes in the dirt, ball 4. And we'll see Baylor for the second time in this inning, and head coach Tyler Johnson on his way out to the mound. So conversation between Johnson, Stratman in the infield, and Baylor will get his second at-bat here in the top of the first inning. Conversation is complete. No change. Didn't think there would be. One of the question marks coming into this 2019 season for Coach Johnson and Lee Davis was how deep was their pitching staff.
Now batting number 5, the shortstop, Jamari Baylor.
Jake Stanley, their most experienced returnee, then Stratman, and then Sorakowski after that. Raw, good, but not a lot of varsity experience, and not much below that. First pitch, pop foul, back behind us, and the count 0-1 to Baylor, who walked to get this whole thing started about 20 minutes ago. Hendricks is at second. Sylvia is at first. 2 down. And the 0-1. Off speed, gets the called strike 2 at the letters. And Stratman ahead 0-2. Jalen's been able to get ahead on a few hitters, but they've either turned on it or he's lost them to the base on balls. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Off speed gets Baylor, and finally Lee Davis gets out of it. But a huge top of the first for Benedictine. 5 runs, 3 hits, and a big 2 errors for Lee Davis as we go middle of first here on the Game of the Week with our score. Number 1, Benedictine 5, and Lee Davis coming to bat. That gives us a moment to set the defense for you. For Benedictine tonight, Jackson Cray is behind the plate tonight, catching. He is the lone member of the defense not in the hitting order. Casey Green is the DH tonight. We mentioned Jay Woolfolk. The sophomore is on the mound tonight for the Cadets. Around the infield, Bennett Lloyd's at first. Brett Cook's at second. Jamari Baylor is at short. Brett Allen in third tonight. He was the designated hitter last night. Matt Sylvia patrols left field. Kyle Hendricks is in center. Jack Carpin is in right. That is your Benedictine defensive lineup. And you're a starting pitcher, and you're able to walk out bottom 1 already with a 5-run cushion. It gives you a feeling of comfort, but it can't give you a feeling of security because you've still got to earn those 21 outs to get the win. Lee Davis, 18 runs in their first-round win Monday against Caroline. And we talked to head coach Tyler Johnson. He was our guest on In the Red Zone Monday night on 102.9 The Mater. we opined about how, on a night or a day, I should say, like that, sometimes you win 18-7, but you wish you had 8 or 9 of them in your back pocket for a future day. 2 was enough yesterday afternoon in the win over St. Chris. Obviously, 2 not nearly enough tonight, as Benedictine strikes for 5 in the visitors' half of the first. Lee Davis is marked designated as the home team here tonight. So bottom 1 coming. It'll be DeNapoli, Lass, and Trice for Lee Davis. CJ, the designated hitter tonight. Jake Stanley, the first baseman, who was the winner of yesterday's game on the mound, is the one member of the defense that will not bat. And away we go. Let's see what Lee Davis can do here in response. Bottom of the first on the game of the week. Woolfolk is ready. And the right-hander deals. Swing and a miss, and the count is 0-1. Woolfolk gets the sign and delivers. Check swing. They say he went. And DeNapoli down 0-2. We'll set the rest of the offensive lineup for Lee Davis in a moment. First, the 0-2 pitch. Off speed misses just low. 1-2 the count. Lass is on deck. Carter Trice bats third. Cole Jenkins in the cleanup spot tonight. Stratman, the pitcher, batting 5th. Caden Plummer, the center fielder, 6th. Noah Smith bats 7th. Tally 8th. And Troy Andrews, the left fielder, is batting 9th. The 1-2. Fastball got him swinging. 1 out and 1 strikeout for Woolfolk here in the bottom of the first inning. And that'll bring up the catcher, Lass. The sun officially has said good night.
Number 19, Zach Lass.
Back behind us, not affecting any of the baseball field anymore. It gives a mean look, though, if you're behind us and to my left and playing softball within 30 minutes of sundown down that left field line. Lass, right-handed senior, first pitch. Misses. And the count at 1-0. Tons of baseball in this spring break week that we will get to as our broadcast rolls on. Another off speed. That one hits the inside corner, and we're even at 1-1. You're just joining us. 5 on the board for Benedictine. Top of the first. Swing and a miss, and last down of the count, 1-2. Woolfolk had a significant amount of innings last season. Also battled some injury. And there was chatter about his abilities a year ago. And his performance has only heightened that chatter here in the 2019 season. Doesn't hurt that you're also part of a 13-0 club. That'll generate chatter on its own. Woolfolk ready, the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Lass will go down. They'll have to make the throw to first as the catcher didn't squeeze it, but they do. And he is retired. 2 down and 2 Ks for Woolfolk, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Carter Trice.
Now to the plate, the second baseman, number 2, Carter Trice.
I think some of the eyebrow-raising headlines here this week so far here at this tournament would be both top 10 teams, Midlothian and St. Christopher's, going 1-2. First pitch, tap foul back to the screen, 0-1. Midlothian falling to Matoaka in the 5th place game earlier today. And St. Chris, their comeback falls a bit short, 7-5. They lose to the host Wildcats, who take 2 out of 3 here at home this week and do a magnificent job hosting this tournament. The 0-1, Smacked down the left field line, but hooking way foul. Trice got all of that one, but got to straighten it out. Quickly down 0-2. Couple of top 10 teams with wins earlier in the week outside of this tournament. One of them in a top 10 battle. Woolfolk ready, the 0-2 pitch. High. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mills Godwin went down to Prince George. Handed the Royals their first loss of the year. 10-0 in 5 innings yesterday afternoon. No surprise that Godwin could win that game. A lot of eyebrows raised as to how they did it. And now the 1-2 pitch from Woolfolk. Down the right field line, but hooked foul. And we'll try it again at 1-2. Mills Godwin, deep run a week from Friday, the first of 2 meetings for those rivals. And they could see each other come Region 5B tournament time late May, too. Last year, the region tournament was held at Godwin once we got into the semis and championship. Have not heard officially where the region will crown their champs this year. We know state tournaments coming back to Deep Run in Glen Allen, June 7 and 8. 1-2 in the dirt, or should I say the turf. 2-2. Can't wipe these batters' boxes away here at Deep Run. They're etched in stone, so to speak. And we'll try again at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Trice. 2 out, nobody on here, bottom 1. Foul down the right field line and out of play. Trice doing a good job staying in this at bat. Trying to get something going here with 2 down 5-0, bottom of the first inning. Two fisted back near the concession stand. By the way, the best concession stand economically that you're going to see all season in high school baseball. $1 for everything. Still 2-2. And Trice battling here in the bottom of the first. Another delivery from Woolfolk coming. Tapped, just barely stays alive. And if nothing else, good job by Trice to extend the at-bat ASAP. Yeah, first he wants to get on, obviously, but if he cannot, try to work Woolfolk as many pitches as you can, knowing that your starting pitcher has already had a pretty heavy workload after 1 inning. Another 2-2 is on the way. High. And we're full at 3-2. Excellent at-bat here by Trice. Full count, 2 down, nobody on, bottom 1. And Benedictine enjoying the 5-0 early lead. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Trice thought about letting it go, thought it was going to drop. It did, and he couldn't get around in time. So Woolfolk strikes out the side, and we'll go to inning number 2. Our score, number 1 Benedictine 5 and Lee Davis nothing. Great crowd filing in here tonight. That was one of the disappointments yesterday in terms of just the weather for those faithful who did come out and watch the action. Kudos to all of you. It was raw, it was wet, it was nasty. And those who came yesterday are being rewarded with what they like to call Chamber of Commerce weather here tonight. It's been a beautiful day all day long for baseball, which got started at 10 this morning, some 9.5 hours ago. This is the 12th and final game of this Deep Run Spring Break Classic. And Lee Davis has a hole to work from, down 5-0, and the 2, 3, 4 hitters are due up. They sent 10 to the plate did Benedictine in the top of the first, scoring 5 with 3 hits, taking advantage of 2 Lee Davis errors.
To the plate, the second baseman, number 11, Brett Cook.
So Brett Cook will get things going here, top of the second on the game of the week. Rob with him, happy to be with you here live tonight on the RVA Sports Network. Cook was hit by a pitch in the first inning, later scored. That first pitch is outside, and the count 1-0. Game of the week, softball next week, baseball in 2 weeks. We'll talk more about that coming up. The 1-0. Oh, beautiful off speed right in there for strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. Cook, Woolfolk, and Lloyd scheduled here. And the top of inning 2. 1-1, fouled. Out of play. And it's 1-2. VCU going to the 7th now with Longwood. Still 11-6 Rams over the Lancers. One, 2 now. This is high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. To Brett Cook, second baseman. Benedictine looking for their 14th win without a loss so far this season. 2-2. Foul out of play behind us, and it'll stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Stratman is ready. Next pitch misses high and away. So we are full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Here to the leadoff hitter Cook here in the top of the second inning. The 3-2 now. This is high for ball 4. Cook has issued the leadoff walk. Second leadoff walk of the night for Stratman. And that'll bring up the pitcher, Woolfolk.
Now batting, the pitcher, number 9, Jay Woolfolk.
Number 5, Prince George back in action tomorrow at home. Central Virginia Disciples are their opponent. First pitch will grab the outside corner for strike 1. Stratman ahead 0-1. The other top 10 team to have a win so far this week, number 7, Hanover, with a big win at Kempsville on Monday, 15-1. Runner going, throws to first, down to second, not in time, gets into left field. And the runner is still down. Cook awkwardly into the bag at second. Now he gets up, but a bit shaken. And the first base coach, in fact, both coaches are going to come out and check on their second baseman. So he gets the stolen base and timeout called here to make sure he is okay. Hanover was supposed to play at Princess Anne yesterday. And of course, they got a lot more rain to the east of us than we got here. So there was no way that game was going to be played. So it was canceled. Hanover back home, and they get set to face Fredericksburg Christian on Friday, weather permitting again, at 6 p.m. Of course, Hanover has a field that's kind of similar here to Deep Run. And so there are nights where others have to postpone where Hanover can get games in. We've certainly called a game in the rain at Hanover before. Counts 0-1. Cook is okay, and he'll take a lead off of second. Stratman looks back, and now the pitch. Ground ball through the hole at short. That's a base hit. Cook's going to hold up at third as they get the ball back into the infield. Single for Jay Woolfolk. Runners at first and third with nobody out here in the top of the second. That'll bring up Bennett Lloyd.
To the plate for the Cadets, number 13, the first baseman, Bennett Lloyd.
Benedictine threatening here to blow this one wide open early. Already with 5 in the first, and now runners at the corners and nobody out here in the top of the second. Outside corner, strike one. They're going to throw down to second, safe. Runner coming home, safe. As the ball got to last, just as the runner got to the plate, he could not hang on to it. It went to the backstop and then bounced pretty far back toward home plate. Woolfolk will stay at second. Run will score, and it's 6-0. So Cook walks, steals second to third on the single, and home on the throw to second. That pitch is low, and we'll go even at 1 ball and 1 strike. To the first baseman, Bennett Lloyd. Stratman fakes going back, but nobody was there. Woolfolk dives back anyway, instinctively. And Lloyd just stays ready at the plate. The 1-1, low. 2 balls, 1 strike. Two 2-1 delivery now. Misses just low. 3-1 the count. Kind of wonder what's going through Coach Tyler Johnson's mind right now. How much longer do you go here with the young sophomore left-hander? The 3-1 line into center field, and it will drop just ahead of the charging center fielder for a base hit. Ball gets behind the second baseman. Nobody is there to grab it, and Lloyd's going to head to second. Runner will stay at third, but he grabs the extra base as the relay throw into the infield not handled, and Lee Davis has committed 5 errors in less than 2 innings. The 2 things that got them the win yesterday in the semis against St. Christopher's, pitching and defense, are letting them down here tonight. 5 errors, so far 6 runs, nobody out here in the second, and runners at second and third for Brett Allen, the third baseman.
Now to the plate, number 23, the third baseman, Brett Allen.
First pitch to Allen is taken for strike 1 at the knees. The count 0-1. Nobody out, 1 in here in the second, and 6-0. Cadets with 2 in scoring position. Swing and a miss, and it's 0-2 to Allen. Oh-2 coming. Low. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Infield playing in, the 1-2 coming, off speed high, 2-2. As we hit 41 minutes into the game, and we have nobody out in the top of the second. 6-0 Benedictine. The pitch got the inside corner for strike 3. And the first out of the inning. And with 1 down, it'll bring up Casey Green.
Now batting for Benedictine, number 27, the designated hitter, Casey Green.
So Green to the plate with 2 in scoring position. 1 in this inning. fouled back behind us. And the count is 0-1. Stratman ready, kicks and fires in the dirt, gets behind last. Here comes a runner, and that's 7-0 as Woolfolk will score. Runner at second moves up to third. Count is even at 1-1 with 1 out and 2 in. The pitch down the right field line and hooking out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. The 1-2 coming now from the lefty. In the dirt, blocked by last, 2-2. One away, top of the second. The wheels have come off early for Lee Davis here tonight. Knew it was going to be a challenge against number 1 undefeated Deep Run, but you have a hard time beating them if you play a very, very good game. Smack foul down the third base line, still 2-2. When you commit 5 errors, and there's been walks, a hit by pitch, some wild pitches, execution simply has not been there. And Benedictine will make you pay. Up 7-0 here, top of the second, 1 out. Infield still in, 2-2. Swing and a miss. They got to throw to first to complete the strikeout. They do. Runner holds, Lloyd at third. Stanley runs it into Stratman, and there are 2 down here in the top of the second.
Now batting the right fielder, number 19, Jack Carpin.
So at 2 away, the right fielder Carpin will come up. First pitch is outside for ball 1. 7, 8, 9 hitters in the Benedictine order is their outfield tonight. Right fielder Carpin batting 7th, Kyle Hendricks center fielder 8th, and left fielder Matt Sylvia 9th. That pitch in the dirt, quote unquote, in the turf, 2-0. 2-0 the count. Lloyd at third, 2 down. And also hitting the turf before it gets to Lass's mitt, and 3-0 is the count. Well, Jalen will certainly learn from this outing. There's no doubt about that. .30 in the dirt, ball 4. And that's going to do it, as Coach Tyler Johnson will point towards the bullpen with the left hand. And the night will be done for Jalen Stratman. It's not been a good one, but he will learn from this experience. 7 runs in 1 2/3 innings. His defense did not help. 5 errors during his time on the hill. And with 2 out and Lloyd at third, Carpin now at first. It'll be Kyle Hendricks, the center fielder, to bat with a 7-0 lead. And the designated hitter, DiNapoli, is going to come in and pitch.
Now pitching for the Confederates, number 28, PJ DiNapoli.
So DiNapoli in relief of Stratman with 2 down here in the top of the second. Umpire Johnson, Benedictine coach Sean Ryan going over the changes. As Stratman will come into the game defensively. We'll see where he ends up. Try to reset things for you here. He likely will go to first, I would think. As, Jake Stanley is going to come out. So Stanley out. Stratman moves to first, and the designated hitter originally, DiNapoli, is now your pitcher. With 2 down, and Matt Sylvia, the left fielder. No, check that. Kyle Hendricks, the center fielder, coming up. Two down, top 2. It is number 1 Benedictine up 7-0. Next week, game of the week, back to softball. Top 5 battle. Number 2 Cosby comes to number 5 Atlee. And our live coverage will begin 6 p.m. a week from tomorrow.
The center fielder, number 7, Kyle Hendricks.
That's April 10th, next Wednesday night at 6. First pitch is a bit low for ball 1 to Kyle Hendricks, the center fielder. 7-0 here in the top of the second. Swing and a miss. And we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. Getting a chance to take a look. Fantastic crowd on hand here tonight for this championship matchup. The 1-1 low. 2 balls and 1 strike. 7 runs, 4 hits, no errors for Benedictine. No runs, no hits, 5 errors for Lee Davis. CJ's ready. The 2-1 hit into right field. And it will be caught for the final out of the inning. So DiNapoli comes in and gets the fly out to Noah Smith in right, but 2 more come in. And we are in the middle of the second now. Score, number 1 Benedictine 7 and Lee Davis 0.
For Benedictine, 2 runs on 1 hit, 3 errors, and 1 man left on base.
I'm swinging from the time you could stand out in the sandlot. Was king at the plate. He kept his eye on the ball. See what you say.
Woolfolk struck out the side in the bottom of the first inning, and he's sat a while here. About 20, 22 minutes maybe during that top of the second. So he'll grab a couple of warm-up pitches before he sees 4, 5, and 6 in the Lee Davis order. That's Jenkins, Stratman, and Plummer. Stratman now the first baseman in for Jake Stanley. DiNapoli started tonight at the DH spot. He's now pitching. Stratman moves over to first, and Stanley takes a seat. Jake's available for a little bit of pitching. He went 3 1/3 yesterday, but again, it's not about innings. For the last couple of years, it's about how many pitches you throw. So as long as he didn't throw more than 110 yesterday, he could come in and throw maybe just a few. Lee Davis, it's their last game for spring break. They'll get a break and then get back into action early next week. Again, our next game of the week, softball next week. Wednesday night, April 10th at 6.
Now batting the shortstop, number 3, Cole Jenkins.
Cosby, Atlee. With number 1 Manchester in a suspended tie with Midlothian, I wonder if Cosby will move up to 1 in the next top 10 poll out Sunday. First pitch misses low, and ball 1 to Cole Jenkins, the shortstop. So Cosby at Atlee softball here on RVA Sports Network next Wednesday at 6, and then 2 weeks from Thursday, baseball returns. Tell you about that after the 1-0. No, he'll get the outside corner for strike 1. Count even at 1-1 to Jenkins. A little bit of latitude there on the outer part of the plate. And the count 1-1. Time called. Jenkins will step out for a moment. 2 weeks from Thursday, it's the tradition that is Cosby James River baseball. We missed them last year for the first time in a long time. They are back on our game of the week schedule on the 18th of April. That pitch is low. Gets away from the catcher. No harm, no foul, nobody on. 2-1 the count now. On Jenkins, Stratman should be on deck. Caden Plummer in the hole here in the bottom of the second. James River baseball been playing pretty good of late. And, of course, Cosby's off to a blazing start. Swing and a miss, and we're even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And if history is any indication, that game will be played in about an hour and 20 minutes. They don't waste time when Cosby and James River get together. Woolfolk ready for the 2-2. Check swing. He got around. Catcher's got to get it to first, though, after dropping it, and Will over to Lloyd. And now 4 strikeouts and 4 batters for Jay Woolfolk here. Top of the second, 1 down for Stratman, and Lee Davis is yet to get a ball in play tonight.
Now batting number 25, the first baseman, Jalen Stratman.
So tonight's starter, now the first baseman, Stratman, to the plate for the first time with 1 out and nobody on. That one's lined into right field, and that'll be the first base hit of the evening for Lee Davis. Stratman will get aboard on a 1-out single to right.
Now batting the center fielder, number 8, Caden Plummer.
That'll bring up the center fielder, Plummer. First pitch will miss high, and the count's 1-0 to the center fielder. And coach calls a quick timeout, wanting to run, and I mean literally running to the mound to talk to Woolfolk. Most times you should see the coach come out of the dugout. He'll take a little stroll and have the conversation. Not here. Benedictine looking for win number 14 in a row. They've already served notice that they will be one of the favorites to get to Shepherd Stadium for the VISAA Tournament Championship in Division I come season's end in Colonial Heights. Stratman, a small lead off of first, the 1-0, foul back behind us, and we're even at 1-1. To Caden Plummer, 7 runs, 5 in the first, 2 in the second. If you're just joining us late, 5 Lee Davis errors have certainly not helped the cause. Number 1, Benedictine up 7-0 here, bottom 2. 1 out and 1 on. First base runner tonight for Lee Davis. The 1-1. Called strike 2 at the knees. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Woolfolk ready, fires, lined into left field. That's going to be extra bases. Ball will hug the wall. Caden Plummer to second. Stratman will be held at third. And it's a Caden Plummer, one out, double to the left field corner. Lee Davis getting something cooking here. Trying to answer in the bottom of the second inning. It'll bring up the right fielder, Noah Smith.
Now batting, number 14, the right fielder, Noah Smith.
So a chance to get Lee Davis on the board. Check swing in the dirt. Did he go? And the answer, I believe, is no. So they'll appeal to the field umpire who says he did go. And the count will be 0-1 on Noah Smith, the senior right fielder for Lee Davis. The count. Woolfolk kicks and fires. That misses outside, and the count is 1-1. Cray tried to position it a little better. No bite from the home plate umpire. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 down, and a timeout. Smith asks for time, and now back into the box with Plummer at second and Stratman at third. 1 down, 2 on with a single and a double. The 1-1. Give him the inside corner for strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Noah Smith with Nick Talley, the third baseman, on deck. He'll bat this inning unless we get a double play here. Woolfolk ready for the 1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Drops in perfectly. Strikeout number 5 for Woolfolk. And there are 2 outs here in the second.
To the plate, the third baseman, number 10, Nick Talley.
And the number 8 hitter in the order for Lee Davis is the third baseman, Nick Talley. First pitch into right center field. Could be trouble. Right fielder coming over and will be able to make the catch for the third out of the inning. So Carpin gets over into the gap in time. Lee Davis will strand 2, and we will go to the third inning. In the championship of the Deep Run Spring Break Baseball Classic, our score, number 1, Benedictine 7, and Lee Davis, nothing. So we'll go top 3 here on the game of the week. Benedictine, 5 strikeouts, a single, a double, and a fly out to right. That's what Lee Davis has produced so far tonight in their 2 innings of work, but no runs to show for it. 5 errors, however, have hurt them dramatically. And DiNapoli in now for his first full inning of relief. 7-4-0, the line score for Benedictine, 0-2-5 for Lee Davis. Our plan tomorrow, fans, on Twitter, join us. We plan to be over at Atlee tomorrow evening as North Stafford comes in. And the Raiders play 3 in 2 days if the weather helps on Friday. North Stafford at Atlee tomorrow, 6 o'clock first pitch at Atlee High School. Then the Raiders will host Woodside and Grafton on Friday. They're scheduled to play Woodside at 11 a.m. and Grafton at 5 p.m. We mentioned Hanover Friday at 6 at home against Fredericksburg Christian. Patrick Henry has 1 lone spring break game, and that's against Louisa. That's scheduled for Friday at 4:30. But, of course, everything on Friday right now is weather permitting, as we are expecting another round of rain.
Number 14. The left fielder, Matt Sylvia.
Scheduled to come in overnight tomorrow night, and they're calling it showers. So hopefully they'll be intermittent enough that we can get the action in over the next 2 days. Fly ball down the right field line. That is hooking foul. And will hit against the fence at the bullpen. And the count is 0-1 to Matt Sylvia. 9-1, 2 hitters here in the third for Benedictine. As Jamari Baylor is on deck, we'll see Brett Cook as well. 7-0, Benedictine, top of the third. The 0-1 pitch. Line foul out of play towards the rest facilities and the football stadium here at Deep Run. It's hard to believe Deep Run is 15 years old. Insane. School opened back in 2002, 2003. 0-2, line foul out of play again. Still 0-2 to Sylvia. He's getting around on it, just a little late each time. Of course, Glen Allen, the newest public school in the area, that opened in the fall of 2010. Just a few miles from where we are. That pitch outside, 1-2. And Deep Run and Glen Allen will again co-host the Class 5 and 6 state championships June 7th and 8th for baseball, softball, soccer, lacrosse. They did a phenomenal job hosting last year. 1-2 pitch drops in there. No, gonna call it low for 2-2. DiNapoli just kind of smiles as he gets the ball back from Zach Lass. Honestly, fans, I've seen a pitch or two like that be called strike here tonight. That one's outside. We'll go full at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes on the leadoff hitter, Sylvia, here in the top of the third inning. CJ ready, fires, grounded, foul. Back to the screen near the Lee Davis dugout down the third baseline. Yeah, kudos, Michael Kidd, Director of Student Activities here at Deep Run, Mike G. and Cristoforo, DSA over at Glen Allen. Both were in their first full year on those jobs and then coordinating and getting the state tournaments run so effectively last year. And they have it for one more season, then it's up for grabs again come 2020. Line down the right field line, foul, and Sylvia stays alive. Got 2 strikes on him here. Top of the third inning. It'll be interesting to see if they have the same type of split that they did last year. As you'll recall, it created a conundrum for Prince George fans because the baseball championships were played here and the softball championships were played at Glen Allen. And the Royals were playing for 2 state championships simultaneously that Saturday morning. They won them both, and it was the first state title for both teams in Prince George history. Swing and a miss, and finally, DiNapoli retires Sylvia for the first out of the inning. But a good at-bat for Sylvia for sure.
Now batting the shortstop, number 5, Jamari Baylor.
So 1 down here in the third, and the top of the order, it's Jamari Baylor, the shortstop, who will line 1 foul out of play. 0-1. And take a couple of moments, get some fresh baseballs into the mix here. That was a challenge yesterday, as it rained a lot longer than it did not on a wet, cold Tuesday. 0-1 down the pike. 0-2 now on Jamari Baylor, with 1 down here in the top of the third inning. And fans still coming on in to see the action here tonight. 0-2 pitch is low, 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was the most disappointing aspect of yesterday. Crowd very low because of the weather. Understandable. Great to see so many out here tonight. Missing low again. We go at 2-2 now. To Baylor, 1 out, nobody on, top 3. And number 1, Benedictine with the 7-0 lead. 5 in the first, 2 in the second. That one's high. We'll go full to Baylor at 3-2. Baylor's ready. DiNapoli fires low for ball 4. And Baylor back on base. Again via the walk. 1 out, 1 on, and the second baseman Cook to the plate.
To the plate for Benedictine, number 11. The second baseman, Brett Cook.
So Cook the batter with Baylor on and 1 down. First pitch low for ball 1, and Baylor takes off immediately, and he'll slide in without any problems. One ball, no strikes. Baylor at second with 1 out. Cook ready. And the 1-0. Anthony's for called strike 1. 1 ball, 1 strike. DiNapoli looks back at second. Baylor with a wide lead. CJ will back off the rubber. Jamari will head back and touch the bag. And the 1-1, Baylor takes off, pitch low, last throw, not in time, and Talley couldn't grab it anyway, right there off the bag at third. And Baylor has stolen again. One of the few situations in life where stealing is a good thing. 2 balls, 1 strike to Cook. Baylor walked, stole second, stole third. Looking to put run number 8 on the board here in the top of the 3rd inning. That one's going to miss just outside. 3-1 now. With Woolfolk in the batters, in the on-deck circle. Here with 1 down in the 3rd. 3-1. Chopper to Talley. Going to try to come home. Throw. Got him. Had to apply the tag. And last does. Nice job blocking the plate. Forced Baylor wide right. And that's out number 2 here in the top of the 3rd inning. Cook will head to first, and Woolfolk will come to the plate. Still 7-0.
Now batting the pitcher, number 9, Jay Woolfolk.
Throw was a bit low, but Lass was able to take care of it and apply a nice tag. First pitch low, gets behind Lass just enough to where the runner can head to second. Cook to second on the passed ball. 1 ball, no strikes, the count. On Woolfolk with 2 down here in the top of the 3rd. But they're able to cut down the lead runner, so no runs in so far. Time out to take care of some baseball supply business, and we're ready. And the 1-0 pitch. At the letters. Off speed works nicely, 1-1. One pitch. Line to center. Plummer chasing, charging, Can't get it. Drops in for the hit for Woolfolk. Runner stops at third. So it'll be runners at the corners with 2 out for Bennett Lloyd, the first baseman.
Now batting, the first baseman, number 13, Bennett Lloyd.
These cadets are going to be a handful to everyone in their lineup all season. And if there's a team playing better baseball in Division I and BISAA, I'd love to see them in action right now. That's line to right field. That'll be a base hit. RBI for Lloyd. Cook comes in to score. Woolfolk's heading for third. Throw is cut off, and it's 8-0 Benedictine. Jay slides head first into third base, and it'll be runners at the corners again for Brett Allen with 2 down.
Next up for the cadets, the third baseman, number 23, Brett Allen.
So Allen will switch over to the left-hand side, the switch hitting Brett Allen against the right-hander DiNapoli, who will miss outside for ball 1. Brett struck out his last time up. And earlier tonight we mentioned he was once part of that 2015 Mechanicsville Little League team that went all the way to the Southeast Region Final. That's a called strike on the outside corner. At the letters, 1-1 the count. Most of that team now deep in their high school careers. In the dirt, 2-1. What a run that was. That was impressive to watch those young men. Hard to believe it's been 4 summers ago already. 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 out, runners at the corners, and a run in. 8-0 Cadets, top 3. The 2-1. Swing and a miss, 2-2 the count. Lee Davis had 2 in scoring position, bottom of the second, couldn't get them across. And now the deficit's up 1-8. Try to get the outside corner, won't get it. We'll go full 3-2 to Allen. Should he get on? Casey Green, the DH, last night's winning pitcher over Deep Run, is on deck. Three-two, swing and a miss, strike 3. And DiNapoli will get out of it. They'll strand 2, but they'll score 1. Middle of the third. Here in the championship of the Deep Run Spring Break Classic, and it's 8-0 Benedictine. Win tonight would be 14 in a row without a defeat so far this year for these cadets under head coach Sean Ryan. Lee Davis came in tonight at 6-1. Their lone loss of the year was a 11-2 loss at home to Prince George 2 weeks ago on a night where they allowed 7 runs in the first inning, and there were shades of that here tonight as Benedictine put up 5 in the first, 2 in the second, and now they grab an extra 1 in the third. So 8-0 as we go bottom 3. VCU has extended their lead down in Farmville to 12-6, top 8 over Longwood. Richmond a winner earlier today. Randolph-Macon upset at Lynchburg earlier this afternoon. 10-5 the final, putting their hold on first place in the ODAC in jeopardy. Yellow Jackets are home tomorrow to North Carolina Wesleyan, non-conference game at 3:30. At Hugh Stevens Field at Estes Park. And got to give congratulations to Randolph-Macon softball. They split a doubleheader at home today with number 1 Christopher Newport. That becomes the second number 1 ranked team in the nation that the Yellow Jackets have split a doubleheader with this year. They split with Virginia Wesleyan a couple of weeks ago when the Marlins were number 1. Then CNU split with Wesleyan, and CNU was 2. They became 1. And the Yellow Jackets win the first one 6-0. They lose the second game 8-4.
Now batting number 12, the left fielder, Troy Andrews.
It'll be the 9-1-2 hitters here in the third. First at bat tonight for left fielder Troy Andrews. Woolfolk with 5 Ks in 2 innings. First pitch gets away from him, past his catcher and to the backstop, and the count's 1-0. Had a few of those yesterday, but it was hard to grip that baseball in the steady rain. We have no such problem tonight. Temperatures now dipping into the 50s, but still incredibly comfortable for April 3rd. The 1-0. Foul behind us and out of play. 1 ball and 1 strike. Again, next game of the week broadcast is softball. Number 2, Cosby. Number 4, Atlee. Live next Wednesday night, 6 p.m. here on the RVA Sports Network on our YouTube channel. The 1-1 to Andrews. Held his swing in the turf, 2-1 the count. Remember, easiest way to remember Game of the Week broadcast is to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Go to youtube.com/RVA Sports Network. Click the subscribe button. We'll ask for your email address. We will not sell it. We will not allow a third party to have it, and we will not spam you. We'll email you for 2 reasons. Those reasons in a moment. The 2-1, swing and a miss, 2-2 now. To the leadoff hitter, Andrews. We will send you an email alert if we post a brand new video on our YouTube channel, and we'll send you an email alert every time we go live with a game of the week. So subscribe now at youtube.com/RVA Sports Network. Never miss another game of the week. High school broadcast across the RVA. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Woolfolk fires. Off speed, misses inside. 3-2 to the number 9 hitter, Andrews. Top of the order, DiNapoli, now the pitcher on deck. Bottom 3. You can hear the Lee Davis dugout. Tons of chatter right now, trying to get a rally going. Down 8-0, bottom 3. Payoff pitch is foul behind us and out of play. We'll stay at 3-2. The only positive in that sentence, Benedictine 8, Lee Davis nothing, bottom 3, if you're a Lee Davis fan, is the fact that it's just the bottom of the 3rd inning. You've still got plenty of outs and opportunities to get something going. Andrews is ready. Woolfolk finally gets the sign. And the payoff pitch again. Tapped, foul. And Andrews will stay alive. Starting to have shades of Matt Sylvia's at bat earlier tonight. For Benedictine, also the 9 hitter in their hole. 3-2, leadoff hitter, bottom 3. Nobody out, nobody on. Lee Davis trying to get on the board for the first time tonight after stranding 2 in scoring position in the second, down 8-0. The pitch. Foul back behind us again. Andrews stays alive at 3-2. Good to hear the chatter out of the Lee Davis dugout. Team playing their 3rd game in 3 days during their vacation from schoolwork could certainly pack it in if they wanted to. Down 8-0 in the 3rd. Another 3-2 coming. Fouled back behind us again. Whoever's going after foul balls back behind us here in the press box is getting a workout now. And we're still at 3-2. No matter what ends up happening, good at bat for Troy Andrews. First baseman Bennett Lloyd's going to jog in from first, have a quick word with Jay. Ostensibly to calm him down a bit and also maybe work to help Andrews out of his rhythm, if he can do that. See if Jay goes with the heat or the off speed. 3-2 again. To the left fielder and the number 9 hitter in the Lee Davis order. One more time. Here we go. Got him. Off speed for strike 3. Strikeout number 6 for Woolfolk, and there's 1 down in the 3rd. Lee Davis coach Johnson over there at the third base coach's spot, claps his hands, looks at his number 9 hitter and says, hey, man, good work. You stayed alive.
Now batting the pitcher, number 28, CJ DiNapoli.
So we are at the top of the order with one out and nobody on for Lee Davis, bottom three. He started the night as the DH. Now the pitcher, CJ DiNapoli, your batter. First pitch swing and a miss at Heat. 0-1 the count. So Woolfolk tonight through the first time around the order, 9 batters, 6 strikeouts, 2 hits, and 1 fly out to right field that stranded a pair. That one outside. Fastball away, count 1-1. 8:21 on this gorgeous Wednesday night, early spring, in the far west end of Henrico, Virginia. The 1-1. Misses a bit low, 2 balls, 1 strike. DiNapoli stepped out for a moment. Now CJ back in. Woolfolk ready. Pitch is low. And we'll go to 3-1. Certainly no reason for Woolfolk to be rattled in any way, shape, or form. 6 Ks through the first time around the order. Out of 9 batters. 3-1 pitch, high. And the first walk of the night issued by Woolfolk will go to DiNapoli, and he'll go to first with 1 out. And here comes the catcher, Zach Lass.
Now batting, the catcher, number 19, Zach Lass.
DiNapoli at first. Lass now in the batter's box with 1 away here in the 3rd inning. Jay will look over to first. Lloyd is there holding. First pitch, off speed high, 1-0. The 1-0 away. 2-0. Good move there by the catcher. Carp's going to go out and talk to him. And a situation here to where a sophomore will learn. Just like Stratman's going to learn looking at the tape of this one tonight. DiNapoli, decent lead off first. They'll go back there, and he's back safely. The count on Zach Lass, the senior catcher, on his way to the University of Richmond next year. High for 3-0. They'll throw down to first, and CJ back safely. So 3 balls, no strikes. And surprisingly, some control issues here for Woolfolk in the 3rd inning, cruising with the 8-0 lead. The 3-0. Fly ball into right field. And it is caught for the first, check that, second out of the inning. Jack Carpin taking care of business there. So Andrews was the 6th strikeout victim.
Now batting for the Confederates, the second baseman, number 2, Carter Trice.
DiNapoli walked. Lass flew out to right. Lee Davis has had 4 balls in play tonight, a single, a double, and 2 flyouts to right field. And now the second baseman, Carter Trice, with 2 out and 1 on. Checked his swing, takes strike 1 anyway. 0-1 on the second baseman, Carter Trice. Woolfolk ready, the 0-1. Give him the corner at the knees for strike 2. Woolfolk ready, the 0-2. Swing and a miss. They'll throw to first to make it official, and there's 7 strikeouts for Woolfolk through 3 innings. So we'll go to the 4th here on the game of the week, and the Cadets in control. Number 1, Benedictine, 8. And Lee Davis, nothing.
Sorry about that. For Lee Davis, no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 man left on base.
We'll go to the 4th, and Benedictine enjoying the 8-0 lead. 5 in the first, 2 in the second, and a run in the third. Hey, don't forget, our Game of the Week broadcast schedule always available on the right-hand side of the page at both RVASportsNetwork.com and HanoverCountySports.net. Next game of the week is softball. A week from tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Eastern time. First pitch as number 2 Cosby comes across the river to take on number 4 Atlee in a battle of teams who have combined to win 4 state championships this decade. Cosby, the Group AAA title in the old format in 2012, and Atlee, Class 5 champs in 15, 16, and 17. And both of them off to strong starts this season. Cosby Atlee a week from tomorrow night at 6, and then 2 weeks from Thursday, we're at James River for top 10 baseball. Number 2 Cosby against the Rapids, and James River playing some good ball. Will they be a top 10 team in 2 weeks? We'll find out, but that's on April 18th. That is also a 6 p.m. start, live on the RVA Sports Network. And again, our broadcast schedule, which includes our weekly live local sports talk show In the Red Zone every Monday night at 6 on 102.9 The Mater, 102.9 FM, 1430 AM. We're live at Sports Page Grill in Ashland every Monday night, talking live, talking local sports. Big thanks to Tyler Johnson of Lee Davis for dropping by on Monday evening after their first round win over Caroline. Can also be heard online on the TuneIn Radio app on Radial, RADIALL, which of course is also where you'll find our football game of the week. Season number, let's see here, 11, 12, 13, 18. Wow. Season 18 begins August 29th. And I know we sit here tonight and look at the calendar. It says April 3rd. You think how the first 3 months of 2019 flew by. We'll be at August 29th in a blink. And we are already working on that 2019 high school football game of the week schedule, and it is going to be fantastic. Rob Witham, happy to be with you live at Deep Run High School, crowning a champion in the Spring Break Classic. Benedictine up 8-0. We go to the top of the 4th, and it's Casey Green, the DH. Leading off, swings at high heat for strike 1. DiNapoli,
The designated hitter, number 27, Casey Green,
continues his relief stint in relief of Jalen Stratman, who went 1 1/3. That one low and away. Gets back behind last. 1-1 the count to Casey Green. You will also see on the Game of the Week broadcast schedule at RVASportsNetwork.com as well as HanoverCountySports.net. Some other listings, too, as Green will foul one down the first base line towards his dugout, and the count will be 1-2 on the DH, leading off the 4th. For the Cadets, up 8-0. Our coverage with 102.9 The Mater of Atlee Little League Baseball and Softball returns a week from Saturday, April 13th. Looking forward to that. Ooh, and that one's going to get away from DiNapoli and hit Green in the back. Second hit by pitch by a Lee Davis pitcher tonight, and Green, the leadoff hitter, gets aboard. And that'll bring up the right fielder, Jack Carpin. Opening day for Atlee Little League is next Saturday.
The right fielder, Jack Carpin.
And we are happy to have for the second year in a row the game of the week, featuring baseball as well as softball from Atlee Little League each week on 102.9 The Mater. That is a lot of fun. Kids love it. Parents certainly get into it. First pitch in the dirt. Last blocks it, gets away from him, though, and to second goes Green. And the count's 1-0 on Carpin. We really enjoy looking at the next generation. We saw several players last year in both baseball and softball that we thought, okay, remember that name. Because in a few years, we're going to see them at the high school level. 1-0, also into the turf. Green's going to try to third, and Talley cannot apply the tag. He couldn't hold on to the ball. It was there in time, but Talley didn't snag it. And when he put the tag on, the glove was empty. And Green now into third base, and the count's 2-0. Cadets have scored in every inning so far. 5 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and now a runner at third with nobody out here in the fourth. The 2-0 pitch in the dirt behind last. It's coming home now is Green. 9-0. Just kind of a microcosm of what has gone wrong tonight for Lee Davis. As they now have 6 total errors on the evening. Kyle Hendricks, center fielder on deck. 3-0 will hit the knees down the pike there for strike one. 3-1 the count. Quickly working DiNapoli low for ball 4. And Carpin to first. So again, Atlee Little League coverage begins a week from Saturday. That's April 13th. Our first game will be a 1 o'clock game. And we'll have that part of our game of the week lineup.
Number 7, the center fielder, Kyle Hendricks.
RVA Sports Network.com, HanoverCountySports.net. Carpin, first pitch high and tight for ball 1. Also happy to be working with Randolph-Macon College for live broadcast of men's and women's lacrosse. We're back in that next week on Thursday the 11th. Next pitch outside corner at the knees, and we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike to Kyle Hendricks, the center fielder, with 1 on and 1 in here in the top of the 4th, and Benedictine now enjoying the 9-0 advantage. Huge hole between third and short right now. Heading to second after the ball got in front of Lass. Lass will throw. Got him. What a recovery from Zach Lass there, and is able to one-hop it to the second baseman, Trice, who applies the tag, and the runner is retired for the first out of the inning. And Hendricks, the count on him is 2 balls and 1 strike. And the 2-1, swing and a miss, 2 balls and 2 strikes, now on the center fielder, Hendricks. So we look forward to lacrosse coming up next Thursday night. And, of course, the lacrosse matches will be with you, and you can watch them live at rmcathletics.com. A check swing on a ball, 1 hop to the plate, and we'll go full of 3 and 2. So as you know, our RVA Sports Network Game of the Week broadcast here on our YouTube channel, our radio. So it's kind of fun to have video accompaniment when we're working with Randolph-Macon there for lacrosse. Makes our job a little easier. Grounder to short. The throw to first. Jenkins gets there. Nice stretch by Stadelman over there at first base. Stratman, excuse me. Oh, boy, my Lee Davis archives were coming out. I was thinking Blake Stadelman. Holy cow. There's a blast from the past from Lee Davis football. 2 down. 2 down here in the 4th.
Now batting for Benedictine, number 10, White.
And with 2 down, we're going to get a pinch hitter for Benedictine. The first pitch will be fouled down the third baseline off the screen, and the count is 0-1. And I am vamping because I'm trying to get the Benedictine roster up online. Their scorecard roster handed us up here in the press box only has last names for the bench players. DiNapoli misses low and away, 1-1 Patrick White is the batter, left-handed hitter, junior. He'll foul it back behind us, and it'll be 1-2 to White with 2 out, but a run in here in the fourth and a 9-0 Benedictine advantage in the championship here of the Deep Run Spring Break Classic. Pitch lined into center, and that's a 2-out single for Patrick White, which will bring up the top of the order and Jamari Baylor, the shortstop.
To the plate, number 5, the shortstop, Jamari Baylor.
So Baylor to the plate now with 2 down and a runner on and 1 in here, top of the fourth inning. Benedictine 9, Lee Davis 0. Here live at Deep Run High School. What a beautiful Wednesday night it has turned out to be. White with a slight lead off of first. DiNapoli fires. It's a chopper towards short in the hole and going to be dropped. Jenkins will not throw. Baylor easily down the first baseline in. And that'll be error number 7 for Lee Davis tonight. Wow. The play would have been at second for the Force to end the inning. Instead, first and second with 2 out.
Now batting the second baseman, Brett Cook.
And it'll be the second baseman, Cook. First pitch, inside, ball 1. (1-0) the count, the pitch. DiNapoli one-hops it to the plate. Nice block by Lass and is able to keep it from anybody getting to it. And it is not 11. It is actually 1 at the plate. Our apologies there. It's a junior. Brock Carter is at the plate, so we correct that for you. Carter the batter. Count 2-0. 2 on, 2 out, 1 in. Top of the fourth. Swing and a miss. 2-1 now. Not very often you see a line score of no runs, 2 hits, 7 errors. At the knees, cross the plate for strike 2. 2-2 now. Batter thought he had struck out and starting to walk back over to the dugout. Did Carter, and the umpire said, "You're still alive, my friend." So he is back in the box. The 2-2. That's strike 3. Strikeout for DiNapoli. 2 left on board, but another run in. 5 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth.
1 run on 1 hit, 2 errors, and 2 men left on base.
And it's 9-7-0 for Benedictine tonight on the line score. On the scoreboard in left field, 0, 2, and 7 for Lee Davis. There will not need to be much conversation with Coach Tyler Johnson, his coaching staff, and the players on this one. They're going to know. And they knew coming in tonight, if you're going to hand a team like Benedictine their first loss of the year, you're going to have to play excellent baseball. And that starts with defense and translates into quality pitching, being able to get outs, throw strikes, and trust a defense to get the job done. And Stratman, the starter tonight, struggled. First 2 batters were a walk and a hit by pitch in that 5-run first, and a couple of errors did not help. And Johnson went with Jalen as long as he could, and finally really didn't have much choice. Goes to the youngster DiNapoli, who hasn't been half bad in terms of being in relief, and this will be great experience for him. I think when we get back to the end of the regular season and we're looking ahead to the Region 5B tournament, if you're a Lee Davis fan, there's going to be a lot of stuff learned from tonight's game. It's also going to be a lot of experience gained that's going to help some players who may have to come up in very critical situations. So you think about, first you got to finish in the top 8 to even make the tournament. And if you've got Prince George, the defending Class 5 champions, you've got Deep Run, who went 2-1 here in the tournament, took third place earlier today over St. Christopher 7-5. You got Mills Godwin ranked in our top 10. Matoaka, they won 2 of 3 here.
Now batting for Lee Davis, number 3, the shortstop, Cole Jenkins.
They lost the opener to St. Christopher's in 9 innings, 10-6 back on Monday. So Matoaka was very close to knocking the Saints out of championship contention 2 days ago. First pitch is ball 1 to the shortstop, Cole Jenkins. Leadoff hitter, bottom 4 here for Lee Davis. We haven't talked about perennial teams like Douglas Freeman, Glen Allen. Glen Allen young this year. Freeman struggled out of the gate, playing better baseball toward spring break. Woolfolk's pitch on the turf in front of the plate. 2-0. Atlee had a great start, knocked off Mills Godwin, game their only loss so far this season. Then they struggled. Lee Davis beat him at home last Thursday in extra innings. Swing and a miss. 2-1 now to Jenkins. And we talked earlier near the start of the broadcast about wanting to talk a bit about a play from Noah Smith, and we can do it now. They were tied 3-3 after 7. Lee Davis scored 2 top 8. Atlee scored 1 bottom 8. They had the tying run heading to the plate. 2-1 pitch. Foul back to the screen, 2-2 to Jenkins. Tucker Bratton slammed one into right field. Noah Smith came up throwing and threw an absolute dart to the plate to cut down what would have been the tying run for the 3rd out to win the game for Lee Davis at their arch rivals, Atlee, last Thursday, 5-4 in 8 innings. That victory there could prove to be huge down the stretch when we start talking about who may be in and who may be out and who may be hosting if you make the top 8. Come Region 5B time, Jenkins swings and strikes out. That is now strikeout number 8 by our count for Woolfolk tonight. 1 down here in the 4th. And that'll bring up Stratman, the first baseman. Jalen 1 for 1.
To the plate for the Confederates.
He's singled
5, the first baseman.
Back in the 2nd. Stratman singled, Plummer doubled, put runners at 2nd and 3rd, but they could not get home. 1 down, bottom of the 4th. First pitch from Woolfolk is away for ball 1. So, just count them up there. Prince George, Mills, Godwin, Deep Run. Atlee, Lee Davis, Matoaka, Glen Allen, Douglas Freeman. There's 8 teams right there. Next pitch, outside corner, and we're even at 1 ball and 1 strike. There'll be some outsiders trying to crash the party. Henrico, Hermitage. Hermitage gave Douglas Freeman a scare last week before the break, before falling late to the Rebels. Check swing, he went around, and Stratman behind 1-2 now. As Woolfolk looks for strikeout number 9, but more importantly, 2nd out of this 4th inning. Then if you make the postseason in Region 5B, you can host the quarterfinal. Then we go neutral site for semis and championship last week of May after Memorial Day. That one hops in front of the plate, 2-2. To the first baseman, Jalen Stratman with Plummer on deck, 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 4th, and Lee Davis trailing by 9. Woolfolk ready for the 2-2 delivery. Here it comes. Fly ball, left center field. Left fielder charging, can't get to it. Shortstop tried to get it, and he could not either. So it'll be a bloop single to left center. And Stratman is 2 for 2 tonight. And we're going to get a pinch hitter now for Lee Davis. And this will be number 18, Logan Lewis, pinch hitting.
18, Logan Lewis.
For the Confederates with 1 on and 1 out. Bottom of the 4th inning, down 9-0 here at the Deep Run Spring Break Championship. First pitch, swing and a miss for strike 1. Caroline took 7th this morning with a win over Monacan. Matoaka beat Midlothian for 5th this afternoon. And we were here as number 8 Deep Run beat number 3 St. Christopher's, held on. Late Saints rally cut a 7-2 game to 7-5. They had the go-ahead run at the plate. Swing and a miss. Lewis down 0-2 now. Deep Run got out of it. Gets the victory. And a good tournament for Coach Aldridge and the Wildcats. It's good to have Coach on RVA Locals Only on ESPN Richmond back on Friday, promoting the tournament here this week. Strike 3 called. Lewis down on 3 straight pitches. And 9 Ks for Woolfolk to match his uniform number. And there are 2 out and 1 on here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
Now batting, number 14, the right fielder, Noah Smith.
So with 2 out here in the 4th, it's the right fielder, Noah Smith, who we just referenced his cannon throw to beat Atlee back on Thursday night in the 8th inning. First pitch will miss away for ball 1. Bit low. 5B is going to be interesting. More so how teams end up being ranked in the top 8 and who gets the host come quarterfinal time. Throw down to first, and they almost picked off Stratman. Jackson there behind the plate. Nice throw over to Lloyd. And they almost got him. 2-0 the count now on Smith. 6B is going to be interesting this year as well. Cosby off to a good start. Manchester playing some good ball into the break. James River always tough. Thomas Dale will have something to say too. Off speed will miss low, and we'll go 3-0 on Noah Smith with a runner at first and 2 down. Woolfolk is ready. The pitch. Strike 1, taken all the way with Smith. Nick Talley, third baseman on deck should the inning continue. Lee Davis trying to get on the board. Had 2 in scoring position in the second, couldn't get them across. 3-1 coming now from Woolfolk. Ground to the third, handled, throw to first. And Lee Davis is retired, and they'll strand 1 here in the 4th. 4 complete here at the Deep Run Spring Break Championship, and it is number 1 Benedictine up 9-0. As we'll take a quick second to get the update out to our fans on Twitter. Tweeting tonight at Hanover Sports, part of the RVA Sports Network. Good night for Benedictine so far, but they also know that a good part of this has been handed to them on a silver platter. And we'll get a new pitcher now for Lee Davis. Caden Plummer is going to come in relief of C.J. DiNapoli, become the 3rd pitcher of the night. And we got some other changes, too.
Now pitching for Lee Davis, number 8, Caden Plummer.
Jared Walton checks in defensively at first base, replacing Stratman. And trying to see who is out in center. I think Logan Lewis has taken over in center field. So Lewis to center, Plummer to the mound. Zach Lass's night is complete, as it looks like DiNapoli will come behind the plate and become the other half of the battery. So several changes defensively. Talley still at third, Jenkins at short, Trice at second. Andrews in left, Smith in right. So Lewis in center, DiNapoli goes behind the plate. Plummer comes in from center to pitch. And Jared Walton checks in at first base. And we go to the top of the 5th inning. And Benedictine up by 9, looking for win number 14. So Woolfolk will lead things off here in the top of the 5th inning. Benedictine fans certainly have enjoyed. Tough night for Lee Davis fans. But they will definitely learn from this game.
Number 9, Jay Woolfolk.
Plummer's first pitch to Woolfolk will miss outside for ball 1. And we just received word on Twitter that Hanover and Fredericksburg Christian moving their game up to tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. due to the forecast of rain on Friday. Next pitch away, Woolfolk ahead of the count 2-0. A miss low that time. Rio pitch in there for strike 1, and Woolfolk taking the whole way. So again, Hanover and Fredericksburg Christian have moved up their game from Friday at 6 to tomorrow. First pitch at 4 o'clock at Hanover High School. Woolfolk will take ball 4 high and accept the leadoff walk. Here in the top of the 5th inning to bring up the first baseman, Bennett Lloyd.
Now batting for the Cadets, number 13, the first baseman, Bennett Lloyd.
And we're going to start to see some more pinch hitters here in a minute. Ball gets away from DiNapoli on the first pitch from Plummer, and Woolfolk will advance to second. Nicholas Neighbors, sophomore, is on deck for Benedictine. Woolfolk now at second. Nobody out, top 5. Misses low. And the count's 2-0 to the first baseman, Bennett Lloyd. Field umpire asks for time. Pointed at his left hand, and now we'll get back to action. Tapper foul. And the count will be 2-1. First inning of work for Caden Plummer, who started the night in center field, third pitcher for Lee Davis. 9-0, number 1 Benedictine in control. Pitch, that's down the pike. Nice pitch there from Plummer to make it 2 balls and 2 strikes. Woolfolk is at second. He'll take the lead. And the pitch. Off speed, got the bat out. Lloyd stays alive, puts the ball to the screen behind him. Still 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Low and away. Nice block by CJ. 3-2 is the count. And again, Nicholas Neighbors on deck. Looks like he'll be a pinch hitter coming up for the Cadets. Swing and a miss. And a strikeout. Lloyd retired. Woolfolk stays at second. Plummer with a strikeout there. And that'll bring up Nicholas Neighbors, the pinch hitter.
Batting for the Cadets, number 25, Nicholas Neighbors.
It'll be interesting to see if, of course, I don't know what, Atlee couldn't move both games to tomorrow, obviously, because they already have a game scheduled tomorrow night at 6 at home against North Stafford. Be interesting to see maybe if they could get an agreement with the two teams coming in from out of town. They certainly don't want to travel here to Richmond on Friday and sit and watch it rain. Wonder if maybe they would push the games to Saturday. That's certainly a possibility. But again, Hanover moves up their game with Fredericksburg Christian from Friday to tomorrow at 4 p.m. So first pitch 4 o'clock on Chamberlain Road in Hanover County. One down, first pitch to Neighbors in the dirt, blocked by DiNapoli, but gets away from him enough to where Woolfolk can run over to third without a problem. Benedictine scored in every inning so far, and they're 90 feet away from a run here in the fifth. One-0 will miss outside. 2 balls, no strikes. In case you're wondering, we'll look ahead at the Benedictine schedule here in a second. There's a swing and a miss by Neighbors and makes it 2-1. Next pitch will miss low. 3 balls and 1 strike to Neighbors. Benedictine beat Woodbury Forest at home 8-2 back on Friday. They go to Woodbury Forest this Saturday, and they'll play a couple of games. One against Woodbury Forest and one against Covenant School. Line down the first base line, but foul. And we will go full at 3-2 to Nicholas Neighbors. Tuesday, they host Atlantic Shores, and then next Thursday, they go to Miller School. High for ball 4. Neighbors will grab the 1-out walk and make it first and third for Casey Green, the designated hitter.
Now batting number 27, the designated hitter, Casey Green.
So 2 on Saturday for these Cadets at Woodbury Forest. They'll play Woodbury Forest as well as Covenant. Then next Tuesday against Atlantic Shores at home. Next Thursday at Miller School. First pitch misses inside for ball 1. And then a week from Saturday night, it's the annual Buddy Ball rivalry game at RFP Park against St. Christopher's. That's always a great affair. 7 o'clock first pitch, RFP Park in Glen Allen. Swing and a miss, and we're even at 1-1 to Casey Green. And always a fantastic fundraiser for the Buddy Ball program. St. Chris Benedictine RFP Park a week from Saturday, the 13th of April. 1-1 pitch. Misses inside, 2-1 the count. We'll check the Lee Davis schedule for you here in a second, as they'll get back to action after tonight's game, after spring break. Guys will get a few days to play Fortnite or whatever it is they do. That's what most of them do, at least. 2-1 in the dirt. Got away from CJ, and Woolfolk stays at third, but the runner at first will move up to second. That's Neighbors. So it'll be 3-1 with first base open and 2 aboard, 1 out, 9-0 top of the 5th. Plummer gets the sign. Pitch. Hit him. So ball 4, hit by pitch. It'll go down officially as a hit by pitch. Green to first. Base is loaded. And it'll bring up the right fielder, Jack Carpin.
Now batting for Benedictine Cadets, number 19, the right fielder, Jack Carpin.
Lee Davis has played 3 here in 3 days at Deep Run. They're all considered away games, but they're really neutral site games. But boy, do they hit a wild stretch on the road out of spring break. We'll speak on that in a second. First, the right fielder Carpin with the bases full of cadets and 1 out here in the 5th. Pitch misses inside for ball 1. After the break, Tuesday night, a week from yesterday, they go to King William, so they'll take the trip up Route 360, take on the Cavaliers on the 9th. 1-0, high, 2 balls and no strikes. Nowhere to put this guy. Going to walk a run in if you issue the base on balls to Carpin here. 2-0, 1 out, bases jammed. Ground ball through the hole, right field. That's a base hit. 1 run will score. That's Woolfolk. And that makes it 10-0, Benedictine here in the 5th inning. So they're at King William Tuesday. Then a week from Friday, they make the trip to their oldest rival, Patrick Henry. So Lee Davis, Patrick Henry, a week from Friday the 12th, another rivalry night affair as they are on Friday nights in Hanover County. On the 16th, they will host Highland Springs, and that will be the only home game that they have out of the next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games. 6 of Lee Davis's next 7 games are on the road after tonight. In the dirt, DiNapoli is able to block it. Ball 1. And we have another pinch hitter for Benedictine. One-0 the count, and the bases are loaded. Pop up, second baseman Trice calls it. Infield fly, out number 2. And with 2 out, that'll bring up White. Patrick White, 1 for 1 tonight. It's Lee Davis at King William at Patrick Henry.
Benedictine Cadets, number 10, Patrick White.
On the 16th, they host Highland Springs. Then they go to Mills Godwin. They go to Hanover. First pitch outside corner for strike 1. They go to Henrico and they go to J.R. Tucker. So 6 of the next 7 for Lee Davis on the road. The 0-1. High and outside for 1-1 now, the count on White. A run in every inning at least for the Cadets here tonight, and it's 10-0 here in the 5th. Plummer works quickly, the 1-1. Fly ball, left field. And handled out there by Andrews for the 3rd out of the inning. So the Cadets will strand 3, but they will get 1 across. And we'll go bottom 5. We're VISAA versus VHSL here tonight.
3 men left on base.
And frankly, I'm not sure if the 10-1 run rule applies here tonight. If it does, then this is Lee Davis's last shot to try to keep the game going. And if they do not, it'll be a 6-2 start for them. And then again, wow, 6 out of 7 on the road. Now on the back end, they get 4 of 6 at home to wrap things up. Patrick Henry at home on the 26th of April. They'll finish April at Varina on April 30th. And then it's a murderer's row. But they'll host Atlee, Cosby, and Hanover, who have all been ranked at one point in this season. And then wrap up the regular season back here where we are tonight at Deep Run on May 14th. And then we'll see where the chips fall where they may when it comes to Region 5B. New pitcher now. Woolfolk's night is done with 9 strikeouts in shutout fashion. It'll be Brett Allen on for Benedictine as we get set for the bottom of the 5th inning. It's been all Cadets tonight. Looking at that Lee Davis schedule, King William, Patrick Henry, a couple of winnable games there if Lee Davis plays Lee Davis baseball. Highland Springs, they will be favored. At Mills Godwin is a chore. At Hanover is always difficult. At Henrico is tricky. At J.R. Tucker, you never know.
Now batting for Lee Davis, the 3rd baseman, number 10, Nick Tally.
But I'll put it to you this way. Coach Johnson and the team, they're going to want to collect as many wins, even in this road stretch and a good part of April, because that bottom part, they may be home last 3 of 4, but those last 4 games are tough. At Lee Cosby, Hanover at home, and then here at Deep Run to wrap up the season. Allen's first pitch in for strike 1, and then he'll miss, and will be even 1-1 to the third baseman, Nick Talley. Benedictine looking to go to 14-0, and if they keep it rolling, they could be 18-0 when they face St. Chris at Buddy Ball Night at RFMP next Saturday. As Talley fouls one behind us and out of play. 1-2 is the count. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, and Talley is retired for the first out of the 5th inning. That'll bring up Troy Andrews, the left fielder.
Now batting for the Confederates, number 12, the left fielder, Troy Andrews.
And just past 9 o'clock here on this beautiful early spring Wednesday night in the RVA. First pitch comes in nicely on the off speed for strike 1. Allen ahead of Andrews. And Trey Baker is taking his place in the on-deck circle. Looks like we'll get a pinch hitter. Fly ball, well hit, left center field. Center fielder calls it off, and Hendricks will make the play for the second out of the inning. So 2 away. And Trey Baker to the plate. First pitch called strike 1. Tapper, and that one's foul down the third baseline. And we are at 0-2.
Now batting.
0-2 on Baker. Allen set, fires.
Now batting
just missed outside. 1-2. Should he get aboard, Mike Joyce is on deck. The pitch, high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the Cadets ready to wrap this up in 5 tonight. 2-2, swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. And that will do it. Benedictine will take the 2019 Deep Run Spring Break Baseball Championship with a 10-0 win over Lee Davis. Lee Davis now 6-2 on the season. Benedictine now 14-0. And my, are they going to be a lot to handle in Division I and VIS AA action. So Benedictine victorious tonight. 7 errors hurt the Lee Davis cause. Lee Davis now at 6-2. They're at King William Tuesday. Benedictine to 14-0. They've got a pair of games coming up on Saturday at Woodbury Forest. And again, don't forget the big Buddy Ball showdown at RFMP Park a week from Saturday night, April 13th against St. Christopher's, who fell to Deep Run 7-5. A 7th-run rally fell short. St. Christopher's were down 7-2 going into the 7th, got 3 across and had the go-ahead run at the plate. And Deep Run held on for the victory. Next, by the way, didn't mention this, next top 10 polls in baseball and softball from the RVA Sports Network will come out on Sunday. And our first Super 7 polls of the season for lacrosse and soccer, boys and girls, will also be out on Sunday. And we'll talk about all of it on In the Red Zone, coming up live Monday night at 6 at Sports Page Grill Ashland, only on 102.9 The Mater, 102.9 FM, 1430 AM, and live on the TuneIn radio app on Radial, RADIALL. And, of course, you can always listen to In the Red Zone every Monday night at 6, live at both RVASportsNetwork.com and HanoverCountySports.net. Big thanks to Michael Kidd, DSA here at Deep Run, head coach Josh Aldridge and his team who have put in incredible amounts of work to make this tournament another great success. All the volunteers who have helped out here over the past 3 days. And a big thanks to all the teams that have competed, and congratulations to Benedictine on their win. Next game of the week broadcast a week from tomorrow. It'll be top 10 softball, number 2 Cosby at number 4 Atlee. Our live coverage on our YouTube channel begins a week from tomorrow night at 6 p.m. Rob Witham saying thanks so much for being with us tonight. Benedictine rolls to the Deep Run Spring Break Classic Championship. Your final one more time in 5. It's number 1 Benedictine 10 and Lee Davis nothing. Talk to you again on Monday night on In the Red Zone, and live next Wednesday night with Cosby Atlee Top 10 Softball. Until then, have a good night, everybody.